Hello, Build It Big Now Masterminds. And I'm here answering all your questions because we are working on the biggest and best time of the year for selling, for business, for recruiting. It's just the right time for us to just kick it up a notch and make it the biggest thing that we have ever done throughout the year. I know that a lot of you, including me, work consistently, and throughout the year we give the most. We work on a schedule. However, this time is the time where people buy the most, where people say, I have worked hard all these years and I'm gonna spend the money because my family wants gifts. And it's, I'm not talking about that everyone does this, because there's several religions, and you might not be the person that's does gift giving. You might be a person that just is not with the Christmas spirit, but the majority of the people are looking for gifts. They are looking to make their family happy. Thanksgivings and Christmas. There's a lot of organizations that are looking for fundraisers, a lot of people that are looking for alternatives to make money because people are spending money. So I wanted to give you this introduction because I want you to visualize the opportunities that you have in your hands during this time of the year. For our area, for example, we live in a very tourist place, and we call the people that come from the north, where it's very cold. Some people can't stand the cold. They come from Canada, they come from places where it is freezing, and they come to us here, in Florida, and then we call them snowbirds. So when the snowbirds are here, all the flea markets, all that they call it farmers market. All the farmers market get full with vendors and customers. So we have a farmers market practically every day of the week here in our area. So and then we start them around October, and then they end in around April, and then they start again back up in October, and 6 months at a time. That's what's allowed here. So start looking for events, you guys. Start looking for venues where you can set up a table and promote your business. I talked about tailgating in the video. That's why I was a little late, because I did a video in Spanish in the other group about tailgating, because they had questions about tailgating. So if you are not sure of an activity that you're doing, make sure that you ask questions like you did now. If you don't know how to properly set up a table, just do a quick video and just say, Milagros, look, this is my table, this is my tailgating setup. If you're doing an event and you're not getting customers, or this is not the event that you were expecting, just take a video and say, look, Milagros, this is my setup, what am I missing, this is the place, these are my signs, so that I can correct you. The same thing with baskets. If you think that your baskets are not selling, make sure that you do a video, and then that way I can correct it and say, maybe you're not using the right materials. Maybe you need a pretty bowl. Maybe you just need to tape all the products, anything. Anything that you might think that is not working, just ask away. So I want to welcome everybody. Diana, Ava Wings, and thank you, Joe Helen, Marta Montes de Oca. She just started today, so welcome. And you'll see her picture on my my timeline, and I added her to the group, of course. So thank you so much, Myra. Hello, Melissa, Darlene. Hi. Yes, Marta, we're gonna be a great team. And Lucy and Elizabeth, Surelis, and there's questions coming in. So look, I also wrote down all your questions, so don't think that I did not pay attention to you guys. I did my homework before I started the video. So let's start. Are you still contacting one organization a day for fundraisers? How does it work? What do you say? Where do you get their information? That's a great question, Cindy. Okay, it's all up to you and your activities. When I'm looking for fundraisers, I focus on that. And my goal is to contact 3 organizations a day. And then you can do the follow-up as you start contacting them. The follow-up starts increasing. You have to have a large amount of contacts to land a fundraiser. You just can't contact one organization and then that's the end of it. And when I say 3 a day, it includes new ones and follow-ups. So you contact 3, either new ones or follow-ups, and then you're making your 3 calls a day, or however time you have to devote to to that kind of follow-up. You just have to be consistent. If you're focusing on your leads, because I have to call my leads also, then I spend a day calling this many leads and doing the follow-up. So I have different activities that I have to do throughout the day. That includes training my team, that includes doing my personal sales, that includes training, doing my videos. So for me, I have a whole bunch of different activities that I have to mingle together because of the kind of business that I have. But for those of you who are starting, you have different activities, a different focus. Some of you don't have a team, some of you do have a team and customers. So whatever it is that you do has to be done around your schedule. Some of you have a full-time job or other responsibilities. So the ideas that I give you might be great ideas. For some of you, grab one that you say, okay, I can do this, and put it into work. If you think that fundraisers are your good thing, your biggest thing, then focus on that. If you think that that you're good at making parties, doing parties at customers' houses, then do that. If you think that you're good at tailgating, when I started, I did tailgating from Monday through Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. every day. And I used it to train my team, to get new recruits, to get new customers. That was my routine every day. So, take one activity that you say, wow, I like that, I can do that, I can relate to that, and then just focus on it. And the other question was, where do you get their information? You can do it several ways. You can, if you're passing by a church, then you write down the name of that church, and then you get the contact in the phone book. You can also look on the yellow pages, your local nonprofit organizations, and you're going to have a list of all that. Also, word of mouth. For example, I do my fundraising flyers. So and I include them in every literature. I actually do a lot of these. So when I ask my customers or anyone, do you know of a fund of an organization who needs to raise funds, they already know that I'm looking for that, because I put it in every publication that goes out. So I hope that answer your question, Cindy. And let me know if you have more questions, go ahead. I've been contacting people that leave their business cards on bulletin boards in the town. I've gotten some customers and some places to leave books from it. That's excellent, Elizabeth. That's very creative, and that's an excellent idea. That's that's like cold calling. So, but cold calling with people that are out there looking for business as well. So I love that, because they're business owners, or they are looking for business or to sell something, so they're receptive to your call. So when you contact, a suggestion that I give you, when you contact people, and I consider that cold calling, because that's your cold market. Make sure that you introduce yourself and that you let them know the reason why you're contacting them, and that you can connect to them. Praise them for whatever service they're looking for, or whatever it is that they're doing, advertising, and then put your business into their business, so that they can feel comfortable about you approaching them. It's not only, oh, I saw your car, I saw Avon, and I wanted to call you to see if you want to become my customer. Instead of that, just, hi, I'm with Avon. I saw your business card. Great job. Congratulations on your business. I'm also looking for customers and referrals, and I would like to introduce myself. And just kind of create a connection. So thank you so much for sharing. That's amazing. Oh, thank you, Darlene. Thank you so much. Surelis, how are you? Melissa, can you talk about how to do a fundraiser with Prima? That's great. I talked about how to do a fundraiser with Sofia Vergara. Use the same concept. I posted the video on the fundraisers with baskets. Okay, when when a new product is launched and we want to move those products, we also do a fundraiser, and we give the organization a percentage on the sales that we have from that table. Make sure that you understand that you are a one-person participant. So that's an option for the Prima. If you have the product right there on hand, you can do a pretty basket, and then you can set up a table with a goal. Let's say you want to sell the 20 baskets. Make sure that they know their goal, so that they can also know how much money they're gonna raise. Now, the option number 2 for a fundraiser with Prima is to print out your own flyer, meaning that you're only focusing on one product for that fundraiser, and you're putting a price on it, and then you're getting several people from that organization to take that flyer and sell the sets of Prima. Now, you know that you're getting 50%, so you are able to give the organization a 40%, and you can keep your 10%. Now, I recommend that you always use a 40% for your fundraiser, because fundraisers are meant to help an organization. And although we are only making a 10%, the return on that fundraiser is big, because you're going to have customers and new recruits from that fundraiser, because you're selling to their people, their acquaintances, or their friends. So for example, let's say that you're doing a fundraiser with Prima. You have 20 participants. So you print out 20 flyers, and then you let them know to take orders from those flyers and give them a goal to sell at least 10 sets, or however many sets you need to sell to meet the goal for that organization. So remember, and Mary had a question about fundraisers. She said that she did a fundraiser and it was not successful. When I take on a fundraiser and I teach this to my team, I make sure that the organization knows that whatever it is that they're doing, it's up to them to make it work, that they need to take it serious, that the participants are responsible for doing the sales, and that they are responsible for following up with them with their orders and also their money. So it's important that when you do a fundraiser that you hold that organization accountable, because you're giving them all your earnings. It's really up to them to raise the funds and to have the goal. If they want to raise $2,000, let them know they need 20 active participants, active people that are selling, and that their goal is to sell to at least 10 people. The goal is 20, and so they can have a successful fundraiser, and that they continuously connect with the participants. You cannot do such a good job as they would with their participants, because they know them, so they feel comfortable communicating with them. So use a person in-house to be the person that follows up with the rest of the people. So I hope that answers, Surelis. And that's a great question, by the way. Hi, Robin from Texas. Elizabeth. Sometimes we work out a deal where I put their business cards in my brochures for a campaign when they let me leave books. That's awesome. That's great. What's in it for them? That's awesome. And then you can do the same when you're doing your table setups. When you're doing your table setups, we hand out promotions from that business as well. So that's great, a business card interchange. And you can do the same with your family. Like I have that going with my mom. I give my mom bombitas, and then I tell her, Mom, just go, when you're going to walk around, just tell people, hey, my daughter sells Ava, and this is a free sample for you. Give her a call if you want to become a customer or join her team or make money. So I make it simple for her, and then I write it down so she doesn't forget. And she's my walking advertisement. It's like having another Milagros. I wish my whole family would do that for me, but for now, it's just my mom. So consider your friends that also do that for you. That way your name is out there times 10, 20, 30 times the amount that you're out there. Thank you, Darlene. Sureli says, if I were to do a fundraiser with Prima flyer, how would I register it at 50% with A1? You don't have to register that fundraiser. That's a great question. You don't have to register that fundraiser because you're not using the flyers, and the Prima are 50%. So the only way that you will register the fundraiser is if you are using the flyers, so you can get your 50% from the flyers. Just do the fundraiser with the Prima, you get 50%. If you're just using the book, just know that it has to do with the commissions, depending on the sale that you have on that campaign. So that registering the fundraiser and getting that number only works with the flyer. Now you have an option of registering or not. It's not necessary that you do. You could if you want to, especially if you're planning to, to use the flyers as well. You might be able to combine the Prima with your own flyers and also combining another flyer. But it's all up to you. You know, we're independent business owners, so the way we can run our business and, we have the products to be able to help organizations and individuals as well with our products doing a fundraiser. So great question. Yes, and just the fundraiser, the 50% is only the flyers. If you sell $1,600, then you get 50%. It's 1,575. I rounded up with 1,600, then you get the 50%. But if you're not, if you're using the flyer, then yes, register. You must register it. If you're using the book, it doesn't make a difference as long as you are at 50%. Okay. Joe Helen, thank you, you guys. So keep the questions coming. I'm gonna keep checking, but in the meantime, I'm gonna start going through the questions. Okay. Patricia was asking me that her leaders have gotten discouraged and they're not performing. Okay, so everyone has a why for doing this business, and you can't push anyone to do what they're not ready to do, what they don't feel that it is their calling. And when I call their calling, is that you have to love what you do. If you love the products, if you have fun during the day, you will never quit. You will not stop working your business. So make sure that you, especially your leaders, that you know their goals, what it is that they want to do, and if they love what they do, if they're willing to put in the time to make it work. Reach out to them, and when they're starting, is difficult because they are not making money. They're not making enough money, so it's difficult for them to just be as serious as we are. They're trying to build a business, have the vision, and let's face it, sometimes we just have to move on to new people that want to conquer and have the business that you have. So as far as your leaders not working on their millions, it all has to do with their why, and not all of them are going to be able to say, hey, this is my business and I'm going to do it. You're just going to have to move on to the next person and make sure that they know that the earnings that they can have when they're building their leadership. And if they're not making enough money, then ask them, how much money do you want to make? And a lot of them have, for example, when I started, I had to replace my full-time job. I was not making the money in leadership. I was only making $21 when I started. I had a small team, and there was not the bonuses that we have now. Now you can make $150 per person that you bring in, following the requirements for 6 campaigns. It accumulates to $150. So that's a lot of money, where before we didn't have that. So, every time, and I started recruiting, and every time that payday came, my husband used to ask me, so how much money are you making? And, I was like $21, and I was like very discouraged. I was so down. And my husband finally told me, listen, if you don't make this work, you're going to have to go back to work. So that's when I put my running shoes on. I knew that leadership was not going to give me the $900 that I was making when I left my full-time job. And the reason why I left my full-time job, because I already knew that I was going to make, that I knew how to sell the products. I knew how to run the business. So that helped me decide that I'm going to do it. So that I'm going to leave my job and do my business full-time. So when I started, I had to sell lots of products. I had to sell with products on hand. I had to bring in, you know, if not $900, close to that. So I did a lot of events, you know, during the weekend. I also went to shopping centers where I sold products at the businesses, because I was not comfortable. You know, I was not comfortable doing a lot of things. So I went to the businesses because I felt safe. I was, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. And, you know, eventually I got it going where, you know, I would take orders from different businesses and bring them my orders. And, you know, a whole bunch of people were already buying from me there, whether it was a restaurant, whether it was an agency, you know, an insurance agency. You know, you have the beauty parlors, you have the nail places. What else? What other businesses have you know, Metro PCS, you know, the cell phone businesses, furniture stores, you name it. I had just had a whole thing that I knew where I would take orders, and you know, every week I would go the same day to take the orders to those customers, and then on the weekend I did several events to move products. So you just have to reach out to your leaders, Patricia, and tell them your story, you know, and ask them what it is that they really want, so that they don't get discouraged. Okay. Now the other thing is following up with the team and communication. When you know that when I explained to you guys that I have a system, I have two assistants, and you know, one does all the follow-up with my team, whether they do it by email or by text, but she runs a report, different reports every day on the follow-up that I have to do. So my team is very well communicated in different ways. Sometimes they get a text, sometimes they get an email, sometimes they get both. But I am consistent because I have somebody else that when I am traveling or where I am doing events and, you know, I have a busy day with appointments, that I'm not taking away from that follow-up. So, you know, my assistant, she's been working, she's very efficient, by the way. She's been working with me for 2 years, almost 3 years already. She knows how to, she gets here when I'm here working with her. When I'm not here, I tell her work from home. But when she's here, she uses my phone, and then she does all the follow-up from my phone. You know, she puts all my contacts from my team. She sends them text messages. So when someone calls me, I already know who that person is, and I greet them. Hi, Jane. Thank you for calling me. It's not like, hi, who's this? And it's one of your team members. That's embarrassing. So make sure that you have all your contacts, so when your team calls you, that you are prepared to greet them like they are your family. So that's important. If you have a situation where you have to follow up with your team for whatever, you know, you want to increase your sales, those phone calls you have to do. No one can do them better than you. However, when I call my team, they're very happy to hear me. Say, hi, Milagros, how are you? because they know me already. They already know me. I say, oh, good, you call me and this and that. So it's not that I am calling them to let them know, hey, listen, when are you going to place that order? Is that I'm calling them to reach out to them to help them for whatever goal I have to meet, but they already know that I'm calling them to help them, to work with them. And the communication that I have done with them is consistent enough that they know who I am, okay? So I hope that helps you. And the discouragement part, I have different ways of communication. I do videos. Some leaders do conference calls. I was not successful with that, you guys. So, you know, if you're not good at doing videos, or you feel everybody's good at doing videos, you just have to start somewhere. Because Elizabeth did an excellent video on Black Friday, and she was just amazing. She was just flowing, but she said she was nervous, which I didn't notice that. So whatever it is that you're good at, if you're good at conference calls, like I said, I was not successful. The attendance was not there. It was stressful to know that I had to be, you know, every day at this, every week at this time, and the people were not there. So I said, you know what, this is not working. So that's why I started doing videos. I started training my team with the videos so that they can look at my trainings and they can take my trainings and train their team. Because if they're not experienced, what they do is they run their own meetings. They get together with their team. And you know what? A meeting is at least one person besides you, okay? So you can have a meeting with one more person. If you have more, then that's good. But start with one-on-one so that you know, you can build your confidence, and then you can build your skills on how to talk to people and talk to your team and train your team. You're also going to be training yourself, because you're going to be learning while you're doing these trainings, okay? So let's see if I have other questions. Awesome, thank you. Okay, how would I see? Enrique, hola. Okay, I would have to sell over Prima on the fundraiser. Sureli's Prima is already 50%. So you don't have to sell $1,600. If you look at the what's new, Prima, it's already at 50%. So 6 sets of Prima will cost you $90, and you make $90. So it's at 50%. That's why when you said fundraisers with Prima, I said very good, because the product is already at 50%. Where in the book, you don't have to, you know, that's not the case. You have to sell from the book to get 50%, at least $1,600, round it up, okay? So I hope that answers your question, and if it didn't, just ask again, because I am here to answer your questions. Okay, so I hope that covered that, Patricia. And let's go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, she says how to do the out of area team. I talked a little bit about the out of area, creating a system. If you don't have an assistant, if you don't have a person to do your follow-up, consider just getting someone from your family. Like at the beginning, I had my daughter, when she was younger, she used to help me a lot with my, you know, with my follow-up and my things. So, you know, you can compensate them with products. You can compensate them with, you know, telling them, okay, you work however many hours you work, I will give you this much in product. So you make your own compensation, okay? Says Sureli says, I'm confused because I already pre-order to the level 1. I have 60. Yes. So now you're not confused, right? Because if you had the level 2, if you look at the level 2, you know that you're going to make more than 50% with those 60. So you will be making more than 50% with the level 2. So hope that answers your questions. If not, ask again. So you get 50% for Prima, okay? And then your order with the 2 level 2s, your orders from the book are gonna be 50% anyways. So good job. Yes, Sureli, selling 60 Prima 60 sets. So that's amazing. You're gonna get to President's Club or higher. Congratulations, girl. Let's give her a round of applause to Sureli's. Awesome. Okay, so Melissa says, awesome, thanks so much. It's very inspiring to have someone like you to be there for all of us, and I learned a lot just from your videos. Thanks. Thank you, Melissa. I ordered 2 level 2 because the award sales will get me to silver. Okay, the award sales will get you, the award sales is President's Club or higher. Silver Ambassador will is you and your team sales. So don't confuse the two. You have President's Club that you achieve with sales, and then you have your leadership that you achieve with a combination of all the orders from your team sales, okay? So that's a difference. And you guys, don't force moving title, because if you're not ready to continue to qualify for the next campaigns, you're gonna lose the Rise Up, which is $1,000 or more. So make sure that before you title, that you maintain a consistent business, bringing in representatives and sales, and that you're prepared to qualify for the next 3 campaigns. Don't lose that $1,000. So make sure that before you decide you're going to qualify for that campaign, that you have business coming in, because some people qualify in one campaign and then they don't do anything else for the rest of the campaigns. And what good does it do if you're going to lose $1,000? No, we want all the money. So make sure that you understand the rules, okay? Before you decide to to move title and you're doing the Rise Up, you want those $1,000. You don't want to miss that opportunity, okay? So I hope that answer, Elizabeth. With the out of area team, make sure that you have a system where you are able to reach out to them so that they know who you are, that you're consistent. I wasn't consistent when I started. What I used to get was like, why are you calling me? Who are you? I don't know who you are. And why are you calling me to place an order? I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing. What am I going to do? These people don't know me. So that's why I needed to create a system, because it's not only about getting them to place an order and paying for it. It's about establishing a relationship with your team, that they know you not only because you send them your order is on hold, but also to send them happy birthday or happy anniversary. You're doing a great job, things like that, okay? So, and I'm able to do that with my team. Okay, Elizabeth also says that she doesn't feel comfortable with door-to-door. Okay, I'm gonna give you some options on door-to-door. I still like that door-to-door because people are there, they're not doing anything. Some people need just somebody to visit, to talk to them, but I understand that things are not like they used to. So I'm gonna give you some tips on door-to-door so that it's not that stressful. For example, if you go to deliver to your customers, let them ask them questions. Tell me about your neighbors. You know, who can you recommend? Who can I leave a book now? You know, how about your next door, the one from next door, and tell them to talk to you about who are their neighbors, so you can start, you know, reaching out to all of them. So when you take one order, you're basically covering an entire neighborhood. You can also ask them if they can invite their neighbors and their friends and do a party at the time that you deliver an order. So you can have ongoing parties every week, seriously. And it's gonna get better, because if you have a party one day and it's not as successful as you thought, then you look at the things that you did not do right, and then you change them, and then you become better and better and better. I love to do parties. I love door to door, but you know, make sure that it's a safe neighborhood, or it's a neighborhood that you feel comfortable reaching out, like your own neighborhood. For example, you know your neighbors, you know, if you are in your own neighborhood, introduce yourself and let them know, hi, I'm your neighbor. I wanted to stop by and drop off some samples and a brochure. If you're walking around the neighborhood, just take some books and, you know, do as you go, and put a little note, personalize it. If you can't knock at the door for whatever reason, they're not there, hi, I was here, I'm your neighbor, I just wanted to let you know that I sell Avon, and I wanted to leave you some goodies for you. Call me and let me know when we can connect. I can stop by and show you the products. So that's another option if you're like totally not with door to door, okay? And if you want to take somebody else with you because, you know, you don't feel comfortable doing it by yourself, then invite your team and have like a whole bunch of people there, you know, from your team. Hey guys, let's go door to door. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna be reaching out to some people. And another thing, sometimes I go door to door and I talk to more people outside that are walking that I actually knock on the door. So you're gonna find people that are walking, and those are gonna be the ones that you can connect as well. Okay, so don't make it so stressful. Make it fun, you guys. So I hope that answered your question, Elizabeth. Let's go to Amerfis. Amerfis, she wants to get to Honor Society. You need $20,000 in sales. So Surelis just did an amazing share. She got 2 level 2s of the Prima, which have double dollars. Look and see the amount of sales you have so far, and then set your goals so that you can sell the products, Prima or products in campaign 26 at double dollars, which is all the beauty products in campaign 26 have double dollars. Okay, so Honor Society is the second level for President's Club. If you're President's Club, your next level is Honor Society, and it takes as little as putting down $20,000 and subtract what you already have, and then set your goal. Okay. For the Prima, Surelis, for the Prima fundraiser, since I already have 60 at home pre-order, do I use that for the fundraiser, or do I print the flyer and order from the What's New for customers? No, you had the products, so use the products for the fundraiser. And if you run out, well, then buy some more, because you have until campaign 26. So good job. Yeah, you don't have to you know, order them from the book. If you have them, then, you know, you can start, you can give them the orders even faster. If you want to move the Prima, and I recommend that you only use one flyer out of the fundraiser, that you don't overload them with different options. So, you know, so the people that don't have the $30 can also buy bundles that are less than $30. Okay, so that's another option. Okay, so Stacy says that she's a gold ambassador, and she's developing leaders, but she's not keeping them. And she also wants to know how to increase her sales, her team sales, and that she is recruiting, even though that her team is not as great as she would love to. Okay, Stacy, that's a great question. And at the beginning, you're going to be putting in a lot of people and keeping a small percentage. But then as you start building more confidence, that percentage is going to grow. So that's going to help you build practice and confidence. One of the most important things that I make sure I do is to find out what is my team goals. I always ask them what it is that they want to get out of their Avon business. And once I find that out, then I ask them how much money they want to make. Then I ask them how long is that goal going to take? How long would it take to meet that goal? And, they tell me. And then I share my story. I let them know how I got started. I tell them that, for me, this was always a business. But you can't influence people unless they tell you what they really want. So make sure that you ask a lot of questions so that you can know how you can help them, okay? And as far as increasing the sales for your team, consider, my team has, the average order for my team is high because I do a lot of sales training, and I have seen teams that have a lot of representatives and they still don't have the sales. So consider doing some sales trainings for your team, having different ways of communicating with them, whether it is by Zoom. I love Zoom because you're able to do video calling, especially for those of you who are out-of-state team members, that you're able to have a team meeting or a meeting with them, and you can get to know each other, and they can, feel confident, comfortable speaking with you. So consider doing team meetings. Conquer your local market. That's the market that you have your hands on, and have different ways of communication. My way of communication is through social media. If I'm doing an event, I post I'm doing an event. If I'm doing this, I post that I'm doing this. The days that I'm not working out in the field, they know that I'm working here, that I have appointments here, or that I'm, calling my leads, I'm doing stuff at the office. But I'm always active, and they know that. They know that I'm always sharing and showing them that what I do is totally duplicatable. So consider other ways of communicating with them. If you don't want to post pictures on your personal timeline, then open up a group where you all can share information in there, a private group where it's just for your team, okay? But training, like if you think you're not capable enough to do your own training, take some of my videos and play it for them, and just have them take notes, and let's say, okay, you guys, we're gonna do this, how about this? It's great that I see you guys already doing this. So just have a get together. But if your team sales are low, are down, you must start doing some training, sales training for your team. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Okay, for the Prima. Okay, hi Wendy. Silelis, do you have to be an advanced leader to make it to president? No, you don't have. You don't even have to have a team to make it to President's Club. You don't have to be in leaderships. Totally two different businesses: sales, recruiting. Okay, you don't even have to be President's Club to do leadership. So it can be a President's Club even if you don't have a team. Okay, so there's two different. Like I call the sales, we walk with two legs. So I always explain this to my team. We walk with two legs. One leg sells and the other leg recruits. If you're selling and not recruiting, you're limping. If you're recruiting and not selling, you're limping. You must figure out a way to do both at the same time. Okay, I'm about to learn soon. Was wondering how you like it. It's very easy to do. I mean, it's like very self-explanatory. You'll love soon, Wendy. Zoom. And I don't have the paid version. I do the free for now. And when you have more team members, more than one, then you're only allowed 30-minute conversations. But then again, right after, you just tell them, listen, you guys, we're gonna get disconnected. If you want to be Zooming with me again, just jump in again with that link and we will continue for another 30 minutes. But if you're doing it one-on-one, it's unlimited. So you can talk for hours and hours and hours, and you'll be fine. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. For the Kickstarter program, after the 6th campaign, what would the earnings be? Go to Vive and look at the earnings and the different levels according to what you have already. So if you are at one level and you're making $20 and you want $40, then double your first generation. That's my advice. So I hope that answered your question. You're welcome. Let's keep going because I still have some questions and I don't want to put you guys to bed. So Susan, Black Friday, the lines and what I do for my customers for Black Friday. Elizabeth did a great video on what she does with her inventory. She put it in here in the group, Build It Big Now, explaining everything that she does and how she does it to move her inventory so that you can start the year fresh, that you don't return products, that you just use your inventory to give customers a great deal so you can make money with what you already have. So check her video. She did an excellent job. But for the Black Friday, for the lines, let me drink some coffee. I'm going to give you different ideas because I have done it all and it can be stressful. Okay, if you don't do Black Friday, like the Black Friday, getting up, I did it 1 year. I said I'm never doing it again. It's ridiculous. But if you don't do the 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning lines, then don't do it. If you do the Black Fridays the next day, which the deals will still be there, then you know that you have access to a lot of people. Take your bombitas with you, you guys, and as simple as just, giving out the information. Hi, I'm with Avon. I have great deals for my customers during Black Friday. Here's my information. I'm promoting in the area. I'm looking for customers and new team members, and connect with that person. And depending on what that person does, then you ask for a name and number. Just make sure that you have, pen and paper to write down that information. The stores are going to be so crazy, and you're going to have so many choices of people. You don't even have to go inside the store. You can just prospect in the parking lots. It's gonna be crazy. But like I said, I don't do Black Fridays and midnight and all that craziness of standing in line. I don't like to wait. I don't like the lines. I like to go somewhere, and I don't even like shopping. I like shopping online. So, when I go shopping it's because I have to, and when I go prospecting and if I had to go shopping, I'd rather send my husband, say, please, can you, and then he goes and he does all my shopping for me. He even buys me clothes. So most of the time when I'm out there prospecting, and that I call shopping, is because I'm prospecting, I'm just grabbing some stuff and I'm just doing my job throughout the day. But I suggest that you guys do what you're comfortable about doing. If your Black Friday starts midnight after everybody leaves their Thanksgiving, then that's you. But if it starts the next day, then that's you too. There's gonna be a galore of people out there, so you have a lot of choices. So, bombitas. So I hope that answered your question, Susan. And do follow Elizabeth's video because she was very explicit. Okay, Joe Ellen, I hope I answer your Black Friday questions. And networking ideas, the same thing. Make sure that you are consistent, that you take it as a business. One of my representatives that finally she decided to quit the business, she told me that that I worked very hard when I started. And I say, yes. And then she said, well, I'm not willing to do that. And I said, okay, people are successful because they're willing to do things that others are not willing to do. So, be okay with that. If your team tells you, oh, you work too hard, which by the way, it's easier than working a 9-to-5 job. I still don't know the concept of working hard in my own business and working for somebody else and getting home tired, how to feed the kids, the family, and do it all over again, Monday through Friday, so that you can retire poor with a retirement. That's how it was going to be. I'm not basing everybody's job. I'm basing how I was. I worked for the county, and then, I had to make the decision. Am I going to be a slave of, retiring, or working my whole life and retiring poor? Because a pension is really limited, what you're earning when you retire. So that's why I took the decision to start my own business. So be okay with that. If somebody tells you you're working hard, be happy, because if you look at all the personal development videos, don't only listen to my word, listen to other people who are successful. This is a small percentage of people, and you must be prepared for that, so that you know that only a small percentage is going to make it, okay? So as far as Vive and Downline Manager, Vive is a new system that's replacing Downline Manager. So you guys need to get some knowledge of Vive. It's basically, once you have a team, that you're able to see your team and do the follow-up with them. It's very self-explanatory. I recommend that for those of you who were Downline Manager users, that you start working on Vive. And Joe Helen, if you have questions on Vive and you want to do a video call with me, you're part of our team. So get also with Blanca, so that she can set up the Zoom call, and then I can go over your questions on how to use Vive. Okay, so I hope that answers. And Blanca, also, she's addressing the people with the the representatives that are new, and that when they start, if they have credit, you guys, when you're starting and you have $100 in credit, make sure that you pay your order on time, because that history of you placing orders every campaign and paying on time is what's gonna help you build more credit. Remember, credit doesn't mean that you have a credit card and you pay monthly payments. Credit means that every 2 weeks you place your order, you pay for the previous order, and then you place your next one. So you always have to be ready to have your money together in 2 weeks. So no credit for the customers. Make sure that you have your money together to pay for your orders every 2 weeks. And Patricia also had a question about the representatives who had credit and were not paying on time. It's up to them. Their credit is going to be taken away. The follow-up that you do will make a difference on them staying connected and paying for their orders, so that that we can get paid, because when they pay for the order, that's when we get paid. So we gotta make sure that those team members who have credit, that they understand that the credit is every 2 weeks, that if they don't pay on time, that their privilege with their credit is gonna go away. Okay, so I hope that answered. Do you find it hard to do leadership and focus on achieving? Some people do it, Renee. That's a great question. Doing the PC levels and leadership. My focus was always leadership, even though I sold products at the beginning a lot. You had to determine both times. I have responsibilities. I have my son, I have my husband. They both demand my attention, so I had to balance a lot with what I do. Even though Carlos works the business with me, I'm the main, I'm involved in everything, in the follow-up, in the taking orders and calling the customers and following up with the customers, and he supports me. When I do events, talking to my team, we work together. We do a lot of things, work together. But I'm like the main head of the business. Okay, so I hope that answer your question. It all has to do with your schedule. Some people do it. I have seen there's I think it's 5 representatives who have inner circle levels. That means they sell over $200,000, and they're also executive leaders and above. So they do both, and they do both very successfully. Okay. I just achieved PC in Campaign 24, but I really want to build my team. I work full-time, so what is your suggestion? Just like I mentioned, that's a great question. You walk with 2 legs. One leg sells and the other one recruits. But you can, when you're doing sales and you're trying to close a sale, make sure that you close that sale first, okay? And then you move on to leadership. And as simple as, I'm just like you told me, I want to build my team. I'm looking for new representatives, people who need an opportunity to earn an extra income. And would like to start their own Avon business. Ask away, and always carry your flyers. When I do my bombitas, I have my fundraising flyers, and I have my recruiting flyers. The recruiting flyers and the bombitas flyers are in this group, Build It Big Now, on their files. Make sure you personalize them with your information so that you can print your own. The reason why I left them on there is because you guys were having a hard time trying to fit in your information, and then it was all getting off center. So all you gotta do is, go over what I wrote and write your own information. So I hope that helps, Renee. Okay. So that's all I have for today. That's all the questions. And I'm going to put this video on YouTube as well, so that you're able to also share with your team. I've shared a lot of great information. Start developing your team by taking the time to do meetings with them, reaching out to them, have different communications with them. And thank you, Renee, for doing the video that you did. So with the little hats, the little hand creams hats. So I really enjoyed watching you both doing the video. So thank you so much. And like I said, if you feel like you're not getting somewhere, thank you for the hearts. Do I get more hearts? Thank you, Lucy. Lucy, we'll talk tomorrow at 8 a.m. Okay, Lucy, you skipped today. And Lucy, I'm developing her to be the next goal leader. So she must be with me every day at 8 a.m. for at least 10 minutes to talk about her day. So today she got to work at 6:30, and then her day just got really busy, so we didn't get to talk today. But that's something that I do with my team. If they say, okay, I want to be a goal leader or an executive leader, I say, okay, how bad do you want it? Really bad. How do you want to learn? Like right now. So we have like 10-minute conversations every day where they call me, and for the ones that don't have a set schedule, they just call me, and whenever they had the time, and if I can answer, yes. If not, I call them back. I know you told me that you were at work. Well, I thought it was 6:30. It was 6 a.m. That's early. So, but thank you guys. Take charge of your business. Ask away. If you gotta just do a video, Milagros, listen, what is this? You know that I'm here to support you. And the same way that I'm training everybody here, I'm training my team, I'm putting them on YouTube, so everybody's benefiting from all my ideas and the things that I do. It's just, we're family. We're family here, and we're here to support each other. So, that's it. Happy holidays. Make sure that you have your goals for your campaign 26. I think I've talked too much today. So I see you on the next video. I want to see more live videos here at Build It Big Now, and more sharing. Good job, Renee and Elizabeth and everyone who's been sharing here. And I'm really, really proud of the work that you're doing and how you're working on your millions. Keep going, you guys. It's so worth it.